Hey everyone, welcome back to DC Motorworks. Today we've got one of our shop projects of the Mini that we have. This is a 2008 Mercedes-Benz ML63, which we believe to be the cheapest in the country. We picked up this car for actually just under $4,000. Has 135,000 miles or so, something like that. Not really sure of its condition. We were told it has a blown motor. We actually got this back in the middle of September. It is now the middle of December. You can see how fast shop projects move around here. But let's go ahead and get started and see what's going on with this one.
A C32 is wrapped with a nice flat black, and well, he seems to think that a C32 is worth a bunch of money, but I tried reminding him a C32 is about as cool as a 210 E55.
I feel some
Nobody wants it. So there's nothing wrong with him purchasing cars, it's just he's not purchasing the correct ones. And then you see over here, he's got a 129, another 129, another 129. See what happened?
I'm not wearing my shirt today.
Is the 164 a good investment? Yes, but not for Cameron because it's going to cost more than they're worth.
If I'm paying you to do it, yes.
Yeah. Now, it might need an engine. It might just need an injector. He might get lucky, but it could also have a bent rod because we've seen bent rods before. So it would be very bad if it has a bent rod because it's actually a very in-depth process to fix that.
So off camera, I actually just tried to see if this would start or do anything. Unfortunately, the battery is dead from sitting for 3 or so months. So let's go ahead and grab the jump box and see what happens. That's our resident clown, Paul.
Hi. Would you like some help, sir?
All right, so you do red to negative and black to positive. Let's see what happens.
That's about as bad of a sound that you can get.
That sounds healthy.
Oh, dude. That sounds like bottom end, but
well, the previous owner telling us that it had a bloated engine might be right. So take a listen to this. Little knocky. Well, we're gonna go ahead and drag it in. You want to see if it'll move? Let's see if it will. Smoky. A little bit. Uh-oh. Yikes. You smell it? Smells like money. Well, it's only on one side. At least we have that going for us. I think this one's gonna need service position. What do you think, Paul?
I think we just better rip the engine out now and save us some time diagnosing a bad engine.
All right, who wants to see a time lapse of how quick Paul can get this motor out? I'm actually quite surprised that it came in under its own power.
Yeah, that was all right, huh?
Well, before we get it up in the air, I know you may have heard my dog Duke barking in the background, so let's see what, we call him Duke the Boot. Let's see what he thinks about this car. Duke, what do you think? Check it out. What do you think? Give it a boot. Looks like we're selling it. I don't think he's interested. So now that we know the motor is more than likely gone, I mean, we're pretty much writing that one off at this point. So next step, we're gonna look at the rest of it, see if it's gonna be one worth saving or see if it's gonna be, I don't know, parted out. Let us know what you guys think. Like I said, two-wheel drive conversion, thought about that. But looking at the rest of it, it is in pretty decent shape for 140,000 miles. See the headliner starting to sag up there. But it is perfect color combination, I think, silver on black. And the nice thing about these AMG MLs, or most AMG models, is you get nice Napa leather seating. See, they got the square perforations, you get the suede inserts here. So this is also pretty much fully loaded with everything you can get on one of these. You've got rear heated seats, front heated and ventilated seats, a Harman Kardon sound system. You can see the subwoofer back there in that left-hand corner. You've got adjustable air bladders in the seats, memory seating, an old school navigation system that's useless even back when it was new. The interior is not too torn up. It's a little dirty, a little worn, but it is salvageable. So it's like I always say, you know, you need need 3 things, and if you only have 1 out of the 3, it's not worth saving. So you got mechanical, cosmetic, interior. So cosmetic, this one's pretty decent. Interior's pretty decent. Engine's gone, so our mechanical we already know is gone, but let's take a look underneath.
It's probably a 12G car. It might make $2,000 on it, unfortunately. Somebody did a spark plug and coil pack service or replacement, and they went ahead and under torqued the spark plugs and then over torqued all of the Torx bolts that hold in the coil packs. And therefore, we got a few stuck coil packs, but there are tricks to remove those. Doesn't really matter because the engine's bad, but we will probably swap over the coils. Certainly not the plugs, but a nice set of coils here. All 8 of them look to be replaced and in probably good working order. So it'll save a couple $100. But it's pretty impressive that it did in fact drive in. Sans the smoke.
Well, that's all the smoke coming from the...
Yeah. Unburnt everything.
Well, let's see what the oil looks like, because it didn't sound good for sure. What do you think, Paul? You want to give it a take?
Smells like fuel.
It's a little overfilled, wouldn't you say? Just a tad.
Ooh.
You want to give it a sniff?
I'm good.
That's Blake and Evan taking off the noise. Right, Evan?
I said yes.
Paul is taking an hour to pull off the intake. Man, why'd you get my tools dirty, Paul?
Should we scoop the cylinders just for fun?
Do it all, Paul. Just do it all. So, always like to pull these slowly, otherwise you'll have oil everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, nice. So this is why you like to torque things. It's nice for the next guy to have to remove.
Play a game of which spark plug is soaking wet. Uh-oh. There's a chunk, there's a chunk, there's a chunk.
All right, my work here is done.
You can go home now. Oh. Hey, it's got a made in Germany filter though. Check that out.
There you go. Makes you wonder how many oil changes they got in there at 120,000 miles?
139. I just saw
139,
here.
there you go.
I don't know if you can pick it up on camera, but little chunk of glitter there, chunk of glitter there. There's a good chunk right there. Oh yeah. More chunks. Uh-oh. Lots of shiny things in there. Ooh yeah, there we go. There's some chunky stuff in there. This one's savable. What do you think?
Yeah.
Maybe we need to get a US oil filter because this is a US car.
Possibly. Yeah, there's chunks in here too. You can actually see them.
Is it like the chunks you leave after lunch, or?
See smoke coming out.
You see the smoke still coming out of the spark plug hole. Maybe with the light. Try that. They just have to take our word for it that there's smoke coming out of the spark plug hole there. Hey, it actually came in under its own power.
I can tell.
You want to shake my hand?
No, I'm good. Where'd that come from?
Oh, look, I even got glitter in my fingers. Look.
Oil filter?
Yeah, it's chunky. Otto's looking at us with disappointment. But hey, this whole car was cheaper than one of these engines.
How much does an engine cost?
Yes. At least $6,000. At least.
Yeah, here's an engine right here for
What,
$4,000.
mine?
Yeah. Let's see.
How many miles? So the engine's going to cost us more than the whole car.
So the real trick is you reach out to the customer or person selling the engine, you get the VIN off the car that it got pulled out of, and then you can actually look up maintenance history of the vehicle and figure out if it was well maintained, which is ideal,
Or a flood car.
or a flood car from Florida.
Oh gosh, I can't tell you how many flood engines. You call them and you're like, hey, I want to buy this engine. You know, can you send me the VIN? And they get a little wishy-washy about it, but they'll send it to you. And I'm like, hey, is there any problems with this motor? No, it's perfect. Everything's fine. Why didn't you fix the car? And you know, they get really wishy-washy about it. But you pull the VIN, it'll say flood all over it. And then you go back to them and they act like they don't have a clue what they're talking about.
So usually on vehicles, if you can find what's known as a water line, it'll be a water line of debris, any kind of debris that floats in water, mud puddle, whatever. It'll line up across things on your radiator or your condenser in the front, sometimes the door jambs of the vehicle. This one, I thought maybe it could be, but it's all consistently just grass. And then there's no water line outside of that area either, so I don't really think it's from a flood or anything like that. But maybe they were driving down the road and somebody was blasting yard debris out at the road.
Andy, what'd you have for lunch?
Whoosh. Excuse me.
How many milligrams of caffeine are in there?
Ooh, we got 150.
Just pour that down in there to fix it. What do you think?
Yep. Full bottle, maybe two. You can't just like add a mushroom to it.
To explain what he's talking about, this is what we call the mushroom dipstick. This was a update for a service bulletin to help with a check engine light code. What does it say? Fuel trim limit? I don't know.
Limit exceeded, something like that. It's due to a vacuum leak, and it sets a fault code for fuel pressure issues that have nothing to do with it. It's really related to some type of engine vacuum leak.
The good news is there's enough value in this car that even putting an engine in it with what we paid for it is still worth it. Since Duke ran off, I'm gonna go tend after him, and we're gonna turn it over to Andy here, do a lift inspection on our ML.
You can go ahead and set this thing up and see what we ended up with. It's not
Just
a bad
remember,
car.
this was my purchase, so it's all my fault.
Oh, it's all Cameron's fault always. I think it could be a nice car. I like the two-wheel drive conversion that we could do to it. That sounds interesting. I've never heard of anyone else doing it. So we'll go ahead and set it up on the lift and see what's under it.
Careful, OSHA.
It came back twice. Always.
It's solid.
Always got to shake the car. You'd rather it fall off at 1 foot off the ground versus 6 feet off the ground? Man, also, that's not a good thing.
You should make a note of that.
Anytime you pick a vehicle up and you find no under panels, you can pretty well guarantee that the car hasn't been very well maintained. Whoever's been working on it didn't care enough to put the under panels back on here. They probably just chucked them to the side and moved on with their day.
This thing's been leaking for a while. Look at the sway bar bushing here. Sway bar bushing here, covered in oil, completely coming apart. That's just barely hanging on by a thread. That's your access cover for the torque converter bolts. Not a huge deal, but see that? Most of them don't have the damper on there. You know, looks like oil filter housing's leaking pretty good. Power steering's leaking. What do you see, Andy?
We definitely have the rear lower control arm bushings. They've leaked their fluid out. You can see all the staining. It's cracked wide open here.
The axles aren't leaking yet.
No, I'm shocked. It's usually the long side. that
This
leaks,
one,
isn't it? Long outer.
Oh, those are shot.
Gone.
I bet we could move that wheel by hand. How many cars do you have?
I lost count. It's an unfortunate thing. They all need work, fortunately.
How many cars do you have?
We got 5.
How many shop cars do we have?
Ooh, I'm gonna need some paper.
I think we're up to 16, 17.
Oh, then I have the same amount of cars as you have. I think I'm at 22. 23 if you count the Ford frame that I got to swap.
And how many live here?
A good 6.
8. 8 now.
Well, I think just for that, we're gonna have Paul pull this motor out. So
Cons, 164. Pro, 6.2 liter. This was actually a well-maintained, well-sorted 164. It would be a treat to drive and very enjoyable to stick your wife in so she can go and get groceries. Unfortunately, it's none of that.
what you got there?
Oil separator?
Oh, I think you're right. It's a little accordion. It separated the oil all right.
They always leak their oil that's inside of them. You can see up here, starting at the top there. You see all that's oil. You see that's wet.
AMG adaptive damping shocks. Yeah, that's not cheap.
You see the other side, it's not leaking. And that's what it should look like. Most likely due to the sticker here, it's probably been replaced. It's probably a Mercedes-Benz part sticker. And that would be why it's not leaking.
Do we have any matching tires? Maybe. No. All 4 tires are different. That's always a good sign when you don't have matching tires.
Good indication of poor maintenance. Show you what they do when you're driving down the road.
See how much the wheel moves?
And so you'll get either an inner tire wear or just odd chopping because the tire's doing this as you're driving down the road.
I mean, all the exhaust is factory. It's not super rusty or corroded. The transfer case is still transferring. No other leaks or anything. So it's got fins and fins your son's name.
There you go. No one cared enough to put their
good
their
nuts are
brand
flat.
name.
They didn't want their name on it.
Yeah.
They don't trust that one.
And this one over here, same as the rear shot, has, where is that part sticker on it?
Isn't it right there?
Yeah, on your side. eBay special. It has no brand name, no sticker, just painted black. That's it. Look at this hose. Woo! The ends
That's
of it are-
mushy.
That's a made pop just like these tires.
Yes, sir. The hoses absorb the oil, and the end of it's flaring out because it's soaked up so much oil here and here.
All right, Paul. 20 minutes to pull the motor. What do you say? 30?
30.
Overall, what do you think? Oh, hesitation.
Let's see what we can sell it for.
Sell?
Yeah. You have to move things to make money.
Paul, do you understand what he's saying?
I can't sell anything. I can buy them just fine. I can't sell anything.
Y'all tell us. See what you think. Buy it or fix it, sell it, keep it. Like I said, 2-wheel drive conversion, long tube headers. Paul?
If you can find any of that.
Cha-ching, cha-ching,
Yeah.
cha-ching.
It's about as bad as a BMW on these things.
Whoa.
No, I mean, sorry.
Easy. You're going in timeout.
That's gonna need some rotors.
It's bad enough we have this over
You could
here.
eat some cereal out of these deep dishes here.
Nothing over here. Nope.
Nothing
Nothing to see.
Another set. Pad slap
Nothing
on
to
that.
see.
Oh yeah.
The badge is round, that counts, right? As long as the badge is round. Uh-oh.
Now we know what was leaking.
That's that.
As if we didn't know. Help stop squeals. I think this one's doing a little more squealing, don't you?
Squeal turned into a clunk.
Clunk, rattle. Uh-oh. Hey, it's got ZDDP in it. Look at that.
So when you're looking to flip a car, what do you look at?
Quality, condition, service history. Obviously what you can buy it for and what you can sell it for. What do you have to put in it? Basic stuff.
So when do you decide it's too far gone?
Whenever it costs more to fix than you could sell. If you've got more in it than you can sell it for, then you've lost money. You'll never get your money out of it. It's not worth fixing. Then you kind of look at your alternatives of possibly parting it out. Maybe you get it at a low enough price and sell the pieces and parts and you could double your money potentially versus fixing it.
It really is unfortunate. He purchased a vehicle at the end of its life. Quite simply needs everything, but I don't know. Chicken foot on the front of the grill there.
Look at that, we just brought it up, $20 in value.
Hey-yo.
We can fix this motor, right?
There's no fixing that, dude.
Enough
You know
money.
that rod's bent. You know those cylinders scored. You don't get that much metal out of a
Not a
bearing.
278. The cylinder walls don't score.
They do when that rod's crooked.
Well, y'all, we got some decisions to make. A little banter between us here to figure out what to do with this thing. But if y'all have any suggestions, please let us know. And we look forward to seeing you on the next video.